I mean, it's a loo book, really. Actually, so, you know, once a day, flicking through, how to survive a bear attack, or, you know, dealing with sharks or snakes.
It's interesting you should say that. More people are killed by the toilet than are killed by sharks.
Is that true?
Chapter
that
37.
Is that true? I didn't know that. Because
I always say that I take a lot of these sort of guests away for our shows, and they're always very scared of helicopters. You know, so we have a thing on there, how to fly a helicopter if you have to, if your pilot passes out. But I always say to them, listen, and it is true, I think, the more people die putting their trousers on in the morning, you know, which can be quite dangerous, yeah.
Than any of these things.
Than in helicopters. So it's not meant to scare people. It's meant to empower people with skills that one day, God forbid,
you might need them. You have saved lives in the past, though, through people watching your shows and learning things. There was was it the mother and son?
Oh yeah, that Australian.
Yeah.
And that was a great story. Do you know, we get a few of these, and it's always reassuring. I spent a lot of time in jungles, cold, wet, miserable, thinking, is anyone ever going to, you know, remember any of this stuff? And you only need to remember a couple of the key things in the big moments, and it can make a huge difference. You know, there was a snowboarder the other day in Canada who got lost. He ended up digging a snow cave and putting his socks on the outside of his boots for traction on the ice. And another guy fell through a frozen lake, and that Australian mum and son. And that was actually a really lovely story, that one.
Yeah.
I mean, they survived 10 days. Everyone thought they were long gone in that sort of heat.
Yeah, yeah.
You survived quicksand when you were a child, weren't you? Because that's something else that's in here.
That's right. I mean, the thing is, I've learned most of these lessons by mistakes, by getting things wrong. And quicksand was definitely one of them. You know, I mean, as a grown-up in my job, I've had to do it a lot, escaping out of quicksand. But as a kid, we lived in near this harbour, and at low tide, all the tide would go out and be this mud, and it was always like, never go near the mud, it can swallow you whole. And I always thought,
red
really?
flag to a bull.
Really? And I remember aged 8 trying to get across the thing, getting about halfway, like mud coming up, just thinking, you're such an idiot. What are you doing? You know, and then somebody spotted me, and then they were calling the Coast Guards, and then it was like, I've got to figure out how to get out of here, or I'm going to be in real trouble with my mum, you know. And then I realised, actually, if I stopped fighting it and I try and pull a leg out, another leg, it just kept calm and wriggled and sort of swam a bit and then wriggled like a seal. I could make my way.
And that's the thing you've got to do. Don't panic. Don't move quickly, because then it becomes more liquid.
Then you fatigue, and then you just get stuck in this stuff.
Well, hopefully.
So I did get out. I had to mow the head of the Coast Guard's lawn for the rest of the summer.
Did you?
Quite right.
I'm not surprised.
Stupid thing to do. What about sharks? You say surprisingly, swim towards them.
Well, I think it's that predator-prey thing. And you've got a shark going for you, go for it, because it's been proven to mess with their predator kind of instinct. Like, hold on, this isn't right. And they're doing a lot of studies that even with great whites on this whole thing of fear and confidence. So little snippets like that, you never know.
If I find myself in a shark attack, and then I'm swimming towards it, you have to know that my last thought, if it eats me, will be, I hate you, Bear Grylls.
Well, it might be, I love you, Bear Grylls, when you get out of there.
Exactly. How much of it, though, is not just about having the skills for all these things to know, but just having that sort of spirit to survive, I guess? Because I think you naturally have that. I think I naturally don't, maybe. I think I would be more like, that's just my time.
Well, I don't think that's true, actually. You know, I think life covers us with this layer of fluff, and then we don't always explore this bit.
Yeah.
But the truth is, we all have it. It's God-given. It's in us all. It's that human kind of never-say-die spirit, and it gets covered over a bit with life sometimes. But I've seen incredible bravery from unlikeliest people. So the answer to your thing is, at the heart of it all, is that never, ever give up determination. And this is all knowledge and skills, but really, the heart of it, if you find yourself, it's all about. So I think it's always the hardest part of my job, is that I've got a family and young children. I spend a lot of time in some, semi-high risk sort of situations, and I think that you've got to leave the ego behind. You've always got to have the clear goal, is you've got to get back in one piece. There's no good dying a hero like that, and it's why we really cover our bases well, and we take a lot of precautions, and we take all the anti-venoms, and we take all the med kits and the communication equipment, and we know people know where we are and where we're due at what time, and you got to kind of put those measures in place, especially when you're taking big sort of Hollywood stars or people away. You've got to get it right. Benedict's very much got old school explorer, and there's a part of me that loves that, because good for him. He went in there with nothing, with no communications, and obviously that is then the risk, the risk that you run.
Well, if I was stuck and if I was in the jungle and I did need to make fire, then all I need is a battery and some chewing gum.
Well, there you go. I mean,
You're
the thing
going to
is,
show us, aren't you?
Show us how to make
things
fire.
I grew up loving it. I still love this sort of thing. I spend far too much time thinking of wacky, cool ways of doing things. But the heart of survival is resourcefulness.
Yes.
So just with a humble thing of chewing gum and a battery, you can take this off. And we're going to have to kind of expedite the process a little bit. But you see you've got silver foil on that.
Yeah.
OK, so if we cut that down in a way that it basically ends up looking like this, we get a battery out of, you know, whatever you got, your head.
So it's got to have that arch shape.
So it's got to it needs a little kind of bit where it's going to get really hot and all the current is going to get concentrated through that one bit.
OK.
But then, and again, bear with me because this, you know, this is trying to do something super quick.
Yeah, no, that's
with
all right.
shaky, nervous hands, but we'll get there. OK.
So you've put it on the two...
Oh, my God!
There we go. There you go. Lucky first time.
Bear with you. That was unbelievable.
But it's just connecting. You know, you can kind of feel it
That's
actually.
quite,
If you connect the terminals, you can even on this bit, you'll feel it
Is
getting.
that about to burst
no,
into
but you'll
flames?
feel that. Just feel that. It's getting.
Oh, I
you can see it,
can't.
getting-
It's smoking.
Yeah, it's because it's getting super hot.
Yeah, it's just hot.
You know, so it's just using that, and you can use anything for the tinder. You know, dried grass, fluff from your belly button. You know, whatever it is, it's going to
that's
catch
handy.
it.
Does that actually work?
Yeah, this is from nasal hair actually.
Nice. That's
Thank you.
unbelievable.
Amazing.
I was not expecting that to do that. Amazing.
Now
Well done.
you
Thank
know.
you.